Man is born free, yet everywhere he's in chains. Jean-Jacques Rousseau famously opened up his work, The Social Contract, with these words. Now, I don't think in any deep sense that man, or any other organism for that matter, is free in any cosmic or conventional notion, and discussion about that goes well beyond the scope of this video. Nor is there absolute political freedom, nor social freedom, but the core of the statement can be interpreted in more ways than one. Freedom, in the sense I mean it, is the choice that man may have if appropriately made aware of options that he otherwise would not have been aware of. And it is indeed in this sense that man is beset on all sides by a veil of ignorance. Not of his own making, but by design, not a sinister design, but one born of habit and custom. I'm not one for response videos. Long ago I discarded that habit, and I would be disinclined to call this video a response video. However, part of the reason I'm making this video is that it came to my attention some time ago that a person, whose name shall remain unknown, made a highly critical video on the concept of men going their own way. The specifics of the video are ultimately not important to address, since quite frankly, every statement made in that video was either pure hyperbole, for example, the claim that every single man going his own way is a liar, said in religious fanatical fervor, and that all men going their own way are wicked and evil and influenced by Satan. Because of this, there are no actual points or arguments to address, since that video could literally be boiled down to insults under the guise of religion and purported authority. But there are some things that can be addressed more broadly, and some things that video made me think about that can be seen as references to the difficult landscape of the here and now for men. If ever I had a goal with the message and content I have hitherto produced for men, it is to present to men the idea that they can live however they choose, assuming they harm no one by doing so. Where there are viable choices, and a man wishes to explore them, these ought to be explored. Every choice should be made in as informed a way as possible. Even within the context of the internet and all the information available these days, or perhaps because of it, it can be as difficult as ever to navigate the world. Yes, perhaps even more so, because without what can rightly be seen as life-saving information, in a world that is increasingly treacherous to find one's footing as a man, providing men with information is one thing, and is absolutely vital to do so. In this world where men are told to follow orders and pursue goals in the vaguest way possible, with little to no instruction as how to achieve these goals that they are, it is claimed, meant to follow and pursue. But a direct and natural consequence of this is the virtual cottage industry of gurus and so-called experts that have arisen from the miasma of modernity to tell men exactly what pills they need to swallow to get ahead. For a price, of course, and getting ahead means almost invariably following some course book cooked up for the sake of easy consumption. Half the time, men don't even know what they're being fed, and why they're supposed to do what they're being told to do, and who can blame them in this increasingly confusing and uncertain world, which is again why men of all ages, but above all young men, need to know what the deal is, and the deal is not a pleasant one. While sprinting for the finish line of some poorly defined, at times fictive race, spending time, money, and energy, men fail to realize what is likely the most critical fact of their lives, namely, inasmuch as they will be valued, the day, the hour, the minute, indeed the second they fail to perform, will be the moment they are forgotten, and like Atlas, they may never shrug, not once, because collectively men hold up the world, and individually the value of a man can be reduced down to his own ability to hold up his local world and the people in it. Now, one needn't completely agree with Ayn Rand on any given point to find value in certain things she writes, and in one case, the ongoing, increasingly forlorn situation of modern man evokes the following statement and imagery from her, even if the context is different. If you saw Atlas, the giant who holds the world on his shoulders, if you saw that he stood, blood running down his chest, his knees buckling, his arms trembling, but still trying to hold the world aloft with the last of his strength, and the greater his effort, the heavier the world bore down upon his shoulders, what would you tell him? I don't know. What could he do? What would you tell him? To shrug. Shrugging is the act of recognizing that your life is yours, that no guru, no self-appointed expert knows your struggles as well as you do. Nor, as it should be obvious, do they care as much as you ever could in your struggles. The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune the gods throw at you, in their apathy, nor do they care about you as a person, whatever claims they make to the contrary. These men, claiming to have all the answers, want you to nourish their egos, and as such, the relationship they wish to establish is parasitic. They want you to validate them in their imperfect, incomplete worldview. And make no mistake about it, no one has full knowledge of himself, of the world, of anything. But it is still implicit in the claim made by these self-appointed experts, whether they're religious or not, that the knowledge they have is sufficient to guide you on their path, not yours. The problem with these one-shoe-size-fits-all solutions proposed is that the world is a bit more complicated and complex than it used to be. And that's an understatement. And there are a few areas of the world where this is more true than the modern life path of man. The tried and true simply do not work anymore as they used to the extent they ever did, be it the conventional job or marriage. So why plunge yourself into something that you know is at the very least not reliable, and in some cases outright dangerous? And this ultimately is my issue with so-called gurus who think they're in a position to tell men what to do, and that they are the ones to do it. There's a stark difference between guruship and mentorship. And the fact of the matter is that not a single one of these authorities truly offers mentorship, other than the $9.99 variety in a box with free shipping and handling. The staggeringly large number of different communities within the manosphere is a testament to the reality we inhabit, and the confusion that permeates that reality. Different men, all seemingly with different problems, but virtually all of them stem from the inconsistency of the modern world. And one of the key factors in this, whether it comes to gurus or more broadly internet culture, is the persistent and pernicious quality in man that renders him incapable of simply saying that he does not know, as if the concession of unknowing were a concession of some cardinal sin, far worse than the traditional 7, and the temptation of the guru, of the know-it-all, and more importantly, the know-it-better man, who alleges to be the guide down the righteous path of his choosing, not yours. And should you reject his wisdom, his teachings, he will spurn you and cast you aside as if afflicted by some horrific disease, cast aspersions, prevaricate, call you every name under the sun. So what am I basically trying to say? Well, there is a great danger and a great temptation to believing too fervently in the words of one who proclaims to know too much. For the modern man, there is no shortcut, no easy way out that can be shown in a brief video, or explained in a pithy speech, or laid out as dogma. And the only consistent thing there is for modern man is the fact that the whole of the world wants you to dance to its tune, embodied in holding up the globe upon his shoulders, as Atlas did. The male guru wishes to disseminate his pearls of wisdom in an effort to feed his ego, hoping that enough men bite and take the bait that will vindicate him and his vision for himself. Sometimes it takes on religious dimensions, sometimes political, sometimes it is something entirely different. But the one consistent thing here is always that you must do as they do, lest you be deemed evil or insufficient, unacceptable, unworthy, illusory oases in a desert claiming to provide refuge. Women, of course, do not seek the attention of men to shroud themselves in glory, but do obviously do it for the ego and utility. I do not believe that any man, even one who is only mildly informed on gender matters, could believe in this day and age that it is acceptable or reasonable for a man to go out of his way to shoulder the burdens of women, to receive a leg up in every conceivable way from the state, from blue-pilled men, from female consensus, and the general human evolutionary trajectory. And yet, astonishingly, they do exist, these men who will jump through every hoop imaginable to serve women for little to nothing in return, and then are dumbfounded when human fragility and weakness forces them, when their turn to shrug their shoulders comes, to drop the globe they've upheld. And this just points to the fact that whatever progress has been made has not been enough, inasmuch as men are not sufficiently informed as they truly need to be, which is the crux of the matter. Men absolutely must be informed about their situation, how the world perceives them, how they react to it. And this is my true beef with the men's advice market, with the burden men need to bear without ever being told that their situation is significantly more complex than ticking a few boxes on some imaginary sheet of success or life course provided in a $9.99 internet kit, Life is treacherous, complex, and filled with the unforeseen. And the idea that one man out there may have your best interests in mind by saying, "Do it my way," frankly speaking, is absurd. Or, for that matter, a group of men at a conference. It may be that none of us has the answers most men seek to the questions most pressing and important in their lives. But then again, that's the whole point of going your own way. Releasing the world others have placed on your shoulders, and by your own compliance placed on your own, and daring a riskier but potentially more rewarding path that may or may not fit any known convention. Thank you very much for watching. As this channel operates off of the generosity and contributions of its subscribers, please consider making a donation or becoming a patron. Any and all support is more than appreciated. If you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you enjoy my content, please consider making a donation or becoming a patron. Thanks for watching.